Good morning and welcome to another Kerfuffle webinar here. Delighted to have the team, a full team today from SDL Auctions. We have in the top corner, looking resplendent there, the White Witch herself, and I meant that in a nice way, Louise. How are you? You're doing all right? Okay?
Very well, thank you.
You haven't done all that for us, have you? I mean, that's...
Come on, it's not any old Tuesday morning, it's a kerfuffle morning.
Kerfuffle morning, brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent. In bottom right-hand corner, we've got Andrew Parker. Andrew, how are you? You're doing well as well. Nice minimalist tree. That's it, classy.
Yes, all good, Simon. Thank you. Yeah.
Good. And then we've got the Grinch Dale. You haven't gone for anything there.
Oh.
You're just
letting the side down big time.
Excellent, guys.
I like a blank canvas.
What a perfect marketing sort of response there to get us kicked off. Guys, we're here to talk about your rebrand during obviously lockdown 2.0, but one of the things that is probably a bit of a sort of open-ended question, isn't it, is can you just talk us through what's 2020 been like for you guys, just as an overview? Who wants to kick us off? No one. Okay, thank you for having SDL.
Come on, you steer this ship. Come on.
I'm happy to kick us off, but we did have a preamble. Okay, 2020 has been what a year. And it's mixed feelings really to sound celebratory in any way, whilst it's been such a tough year for all of us. But for some people, it'll be tougher than others. From an auction point of view, we've had an outstanding year. We had an outstanding year with our partners in our partnership business, and we've had an outstanding year in direct instructions as well. So we've learned a lot, we've come a long way, and we've got a lot done. So I'm proud of what we've done as a team during that time. But yeah, it's been what a year, and it's one that we certainly won't forget, Simon, is it?
No, well, I hope we don't. You know, if we go into 2021 and it's more eventful, we're not gonna cope, are we? Really? Anyway, that's good. Am I right in thinking that auctions, given the stodgy nature of obviously the normal sales pipelines at the moment, is now the right time for auctions more than ever?
Absolutely. I think the speed and certainty that you get from an auction sale at a time of uncertainty, when people want something that they can rely on, I think auctions it is one thing that you can rely on, to give you that peace of mind that you've not only have you sold what it is that you've chosen to sell, but as a buyer you've also got to buy it. I'm sure there are lots of people at the moment who are really scared about their stamp duty savings, where they believe they bought something, and yeah, they have. They bought it subject to contract, and there's a lot of work to be done from that point to the point of completion, and they're probably pretty scared that they're not going to get that benefit. So absolutely, Simon, I think auctions more now than ever is something that gives people what they want.
Absolutely. And so on the back of obviously 2020 and all the other challenges that we've got there, you've built a national property auction from scratch. How have you managed to find the time to squeeze in a rebrand as well?
Well, luckily we've got
that. Yeah, and unfortunately I'm not working on my own either. There's been a whole group of people, agencies and our own people working on this for a long time. It's been a long time in the making. To be honest, it comes on the back of several rebrands over the last few years. That's all been part of a wider strategy, I suppose, to build that national brand presence. So we've worked with a couple of really good agencies. Fluid have worked with us, based near us. We've had an agency called VentureStream working on our website, and all the internal team have worked on it really well as well. But there's also been a huge amount of hard work that's had to go in above and beyond doing the sort of the standard business work to generate lots on a monthly basis. So there's been a lot of hard work, but as I say, it's been a long time in the making as well.
Because you don't do it lightly, do you? A rebrand obviously comes with it. It's tremendously exciting when you look at it, but there's also certain baggage. You know, people know us, trust us from the old brand and everything else. So everything has to be weighed up the right time to make that happen.
Yeah, definitely. And we're fortunate we've had two really well-known brands under our umbrella, I suppose, and the Bigwood name and the Graham Penny names, and we've certainly not moved to call ourselves SDL Property Auctions lightly. We've looked at loads of different elements, but Google searches being the main one. We average about 1 million monthly impressions on Google, and we've been sort of hitting up to 1.5, 1.6 million the last couple of months. And of course, we needed to make sure that people weren't going to not find us if they were searching for Graham Penny or Bigwood. But for a good year or so now, searches for SDL relating to auctions have far outstripped Bigwood or Graham Penny combined. So having done all that research, it felt like with the national property auction as well, the time was right to consolidate it, really.
So it sounds a bit like more like when I did a rebrand, and we're going to go pink, heavy pink. You've actually put some analytical. You've clearly looked at the numbers, understood that, and paid attention to why this would work better for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also in marketing, so I'm good at making the numbers tell the story that I want them to tell. But it's definitely had some proper thought behind it too.
And let's have it right. We've also got a bit of pink in there, okay? So we've come away from the red.
It's the most alpha male of all colours. We know that.
It's definitely my favourite colour.
It is. It is. Now, I think there's been I think, you know, we also questioned ourselves, is this the right time on the back of everything that we've had going on and in the industry at large in 2020? But actually, it was always the plan. And I think because we have, and as you say, you know, we continue to be the most successful live stream auctioneer throughout from the start of lockdown, and it has brought our business on, not without a bit of pain, and everybody's kind of put a shift in. That's an understatement, and that's everybody in the business. But it's taken us to some other opportunities that we didn't have. You know, what were our more traditional kind of ballroom sales were more regionally biased. You know, we were very strong in the East Midlands, in the West Midlands, and in the Northwest. And although we had a national presence, it was more by exception with our clients. And again, through our partnership with Countrywide as well, that's changed because, you know, we have got a much stronger national bias now, and we don't have the constraints of, will those buyers come to that ballroom in South London or, you know, in Huddersfield? I mean, it's not that issue anymore. We've got, from a branding point of view, we, you know, in terms of who we reach from registered bidders, we could have only aspired to have got the amount of registered bidders on a sale in the olden days, in pre-COVID. So you know, we have ridiculous levels of, you know, in the 20s and 30,000 views of the auction. You know, you know, in the thousands of registered bidders. And you know, Andy tells the story. You know, we only ever bought 500 paddles in SDL auctions. So, you know, and they never run out, did they, Andy? You know?
Half of those have been stolen.
Yeah, exactly. People pick them because it's nice. It's obviously a good souvenir, isn't it? So we've never run out of paddles, and now, you know, we're registering, you know, I think, you know, at least 1,500 buyers in the last couple of sales. It was close to 2,000 registered buyers, you know, and they're people who've gone through, you know, we have a heavily compliant business, as we have to be. But, you know, so this isn't just somebody who says, oh, I'm interested in buying. They go through a full proper AML, you know, we ensure they are bid ready. We know that they understand the implications of what they're doing if they are potentially going on to buy. So this isn't just I'm interested. This isn't just watchers. These are people who've put their money where their mouth is and are ready to bid. So that in itself means that we're able to reach more people. So it kind of went full circle to, you know what, you know, yes, it's questionable whether we should do this right now when we're all still kind of, you know, busy being swans on the surface, trying to run the business and support our partners as much as we can, as well as our people. But it just felt like it was, you know, like Dale said, this has been what's your marketing terminology of, it's been that brand journey of taking it from that parochial brand? Dale knows more about this than we do, but yeah. It's been a process, isn't it?
Yeah, we've always wanted to build a national brand that has been kind of under that SDL banner, I suppose. And it started with when we brought Graham Penny and Bigwood into that SDL branding by calling them SDL Graham Penny and SDL Bigwood, and then we moved on to have them as a kind of a suffix. So it was SDL Auctions Graham Penny, SDL Auctions Bigwood. Yeah. But to be honest, we've had a real opportunity with the national property auction and how well the partner side of the business has been doing, working on their behalf, to use that strategy and almost accelerate it, actually, because of how well this year's gone.
So very much a case then, of all the things you could be doing in 2020, why a rebrand? But very much it was just a case that this was already on the agenda. It was planned for, and it just, if ever, the reasons to do it only increased because of lockdown and things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Before COVID, we'd already carried out all the research. We'd got the plan, hadn't we? And it was just a matter of whether we stopped the implementation element to that plan or we carried on. And it was absolutely the right thing to carry on. I think all of our partners as well have benefited from the rebrand, because if anything, our red, kind of shouty, as Louise would call it, the dominant red everywhere, it was old fashioned, and it drags back to really the days of sale. The colour red tells the story of sale. It doesn't sit with our partners. Branding was much better than ours in a lot of cases, so I think we are much more complementary now, rather than having the bright red.
So they're all pleased with that then, the partners on the whole have seen the...
Yeah, we've had some great feedback from partners about how fresh it looks and engaging it looks.
We did do a couple of sort of more long-standing partners that we know locally were very much part of that journey of our tone of voice, because obviously there's two elements to this in terms of us. We white label a lot of what we do for our partner agents. And some of our broader corporate partners as well, where we act on their behalf. They are powered by our functionality and our people and our team. So I always position it as that we are an extension of their business, and it's not to make us famous, but actually it's to give them the credibility of the business behind them that is managing their auction business and conducting their auction business. So for us, it was very important that they kind of embraced the tone of voice. And you know what? I had some fantastic ideas from them as well, in terms of they're the experts in what you must see hundreds and if not thousands of great ways to engage clients from an estate agency's perspective. And it's for us going, actually, we need to listen to them. We've got a unique message, definitely, because it isn't the same as a private treaty sale. It isn't the same process for the vendor or the buyer. And it's not the same for the agent. So there's a few angles at it that we come at it, is that how do we market ourselves to our partners so that they realise that, SDL property auctions would be the one that you choose to partnership with. But then how do we help them grow and develop and attract new auction business while supporting their business in that white labeled way? So yeah, they were really great, and I hope they continue to be so. We always, case studies are a really good example. Certain partners will be really proactive with saying, right, can you build me this case study now, and I want that story and everything else. And you know what, we have got in Dale and Dale's team behind the scenes are constantly getting requests from our auction experts team or the new business team to say, I need to create this. It's so there's never a no. We have to sometimes sit and think about what's the return. I always flex the muscle of, if we can do it once and apply it often, then we'll be interested in doing it. So if there's a reason for us to support a local message that we can make it sound personal to branch's brand and that business's brand, then that's what we'll do. We can't be all things to all people, but you know, it where we can apply it more often, then that's what we do from a marketing perspective, anyway.
Sorry, go on, Dave.
I was just going to say, ultimately, we really want to support those agents, and I think part of the point of this brand that's been mentioned a couple of times before, but auctions is different for a consumer. We know how much it can help an agent. We know that it can help them turn their pipeline quicker, and that's obviously something we want to help them with. And one of the ways in which we can help them is by helping the consumer to understand that actually, yes, it is different, but it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be that red and shouty brand that we were before. We're a really supportive business in the way in which we help our customers and the customers of our agents. So that's kind of at the heart of what we want to achieve with the new brand and the new tone of voice that pulls through everything, including that white labeled materials that appear in the agent's brands as well.
That's right. I mean, Louise and I have spoken about it previously in terms of, you know, as great as those auction rooms are, they can be very testosterone driven places, can't they? And actually, I'm guessing the stats will be telling you now there is a much greater prevalence of women accessing the live streams, won't they? Feeling more comfortable to get involved, because quite obviously it isn't the same as it was in the, I don't want to use the olden days because I sound like a teenager, don't I? But that's pretty much what we're talking about now.
Yeah. So from our stats side, I mean, first of all, as Louise says, we get, I think we had 50,000 people log onto our site for the last auction, and as busy as our auction rooms were in the old world, there were never that many people, that's for sure. Yeah. We didn't have any stadiums booked, unfortunately, as good as Andy is on stage. But also that you're right, the demographics are much more similar to your standard property viewing demographics. Really, it's much closer to the sort of female focused demographic that you'd see on Rightmove normally.
Yes. Guys, thank you very much for the update again. Sounds like you had a really good year at exactly the right time for when agents needed you. So that's to be applauded as ever. I'm glad to see it's going so well. And please do bear us in mind when you launch your fantastic new ideas.
We will, don't you worry. There's lots more to come for us, and hopefully just more evidence of bringing those relationships on. That's what we want to do going into 21.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
Bye.